everyone. Just setting up, but I think we're live. Let me see. Nothing's moving yet, so oh yeah, I think we're live. And while I just wait, I'm just going to open my stamp set because I haven't used anything from here yet, and I just need to put some labels on. So while I'm waiting, I'll just do that. Let's pop a few on here. Just the ones that I'm going to use tonight, probably. Hi Jane, how are you? Has that terrible snow all gone yet? I do hope so. Okay, nice. I've opened the stamp set. And this is the one that you wanted me to show. So, but as you can see, I haven't used it yet. So I'm just putting my labels on. Big labels I tend to put on using a block. I know I need that one. And I need the little sentiment one. Let's find this. That's this one. Sometimes I'll put them on this way. Oh, no snow, no snow. No, it's windy here today, but we certainly haven't got any snow here either. And it's lovely. I love that we've also got lighter nights. I haven't had to put an hot light on. Oops. So I've got no nasty shadows, and sunset isn't till about another hour, I think. So, hi Laurie, how are you? Isn't it lovely tonight in Cochrane? Let's take that one off. Okay, what else do I need? Let's see. I'm going to need this seaweed. So this is the last one I have to put on. So it's a smaller one, so let's just put it on the old-fashioned way. Let's take these bits off. Pop this on here. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit windy, you're right. And I've noticed it's getting windier. Okay, so let me see. I've got this one, this little sentiment, and I think that's all I need. If we need something else, then I'll pop the labels on as well later. Okay. So last week I asked everybody which stamp set they wanted me to use, and that was because there was this offer on for Stampin' Up, and there's 20% off certain stamp sets with dies. And what I said was I didn't have these three. I have all the rest, and I've only just bought this Seascape bundle. And Janet asked me if I would demonstrate this. Hi Diane, nice to see you. Yeah, I've only just got this stamp set. Well, I've had it a little while, but I've only just got it out the box. I've just been putting the labels on. So, yeah. But I'm going to case one of the stamp sets, oops, let's move that, one of the cards in the catalogue. I'm not going to make it exactly the same. I was going to make this one, and then I thought, actually, that would be nice for a shadow box. So I might do a YouTube video and do this one as a shadow box. But I liked this one. So I'm going to make this one, but I'm going to make it a little bit different. I'm not going to case it exactly. I am using the basic sort of layout and everything, but I want it just a little bit different. Hi Judy, nice to see you. Isn't it lovely where it's light on an evening? Hi Rosemary. Oh, it's nice to see everybody tonight. And I haven't got an hot light on. It's beautiful and sunny outside. It's windy, but it's bright and it's almost spring-like. Okay, so I'm using the Seascape stamps and the dies. Now, I'm only using 2 of the dies, and I have had a little practice with these. because I did see some comments that they were just a little bit different. This one and this one are a little bit of a different kind of die, and I'll show you why in a moment. I'm also using the coral, and it came out different to how I thought it was going to come out, so it was a bit of a surprise for me. So I've got this, I've got my dies, I need to cut some paper. Well, cut some dies. I've got my basic white, and I've just got little strips. I'm just going to move that up there slightly. Let me see if I've put all my ink over here, and actually it's right in the way. So let's move that. Okay. So I'm just using my little one, just my little cut and emboss. And my plate's getting a little bit warped, look, so I'm just going to turn it over. And that helps with that. I should really turn it over each time I use it, but I don't remember to do that. I think this is only about a 2-inch strip. Yeah, 2-inch strip, and that's just wide enough for this little seahorse. I'm going to pop him on there. And when you use this machine, remember just to offset the plates. If you try to put it through with them all sandwiched together, it's a bit difficult. And I found it so much easier to put this on and then just offset this plate a little bit so that it takes half the plate and then this piece. And that way you don't struggle with the handle. So I'm going to pop that all the way through. See, it goes through first time when you do it like that. If you have it all butted up to each other, then it doesn't go through easily for me. Now that might just be me, but yeah, I find it a bit tricky otherwise. Okay, and I'm just going to use my die brush. This is the old die brush that Stampin' Up used to do. They now do one that fits on the Take Your Pick tool, but I've still got this one, so I'm still using this. And I'm just going to run the brush over this, over my bin, just to get the little bits and pieces out. Okay, so you can see, just running it over like this gets most of the little pieces out of it. Be careful when you take it off the tail. I find that this sticks in a little bit. So the first time I did it, I actually pulled its poor tail off. So just be careful taking its tail out. I'm going to move these pieces, and then I'm going to do one more die, and then that's it for die cutting. I'm going to put a little bit wider piece of Whisper White, no it's not Whisper White, Basic White in, and I'm going to use this coral piece. Actually it probably would fit on here, but it's a bit of a tight squeeze. No, look, it would fit. Let's put it through. No point using another piece of card when this one would fit. Pop that on there and try and keep it flat. That through. I always put mine through and then all the way back again. I know some people just put it through once, but I just like it to come back to its starting position, ready for the next thing that I'm going to die cut. Okay, let's take this one off. Now the first time I cut this out, I thought these little pieces were going to pop out as well. So let's move that out the way. And I went over it with my die brush and nothing came out. And then I got my pokey tool and I'm poking, and that's when I realised it doesn't go all the way through. It doesn't make little holes. What they can do is just pop up. If you wanted to, you could go through and pop those so it makes it a bit more 3D. But honestly, I haven't got that kind of patience. It would look really pretty, but I haven't got that kind of patience, so mine's not getting popped up. Okay, now, what I want to show you about the little seahorse is it doesn't pop it all the way out. It's not meant to cut the whole thing out. It's so that if you want to put it on a card, let's just take this one. What you can do is just pop some of these pieces up. See how pieces of it will come up. And then you get it almost like a 3D effect on your card. You see how some of these bits stick out, but not all of it does. And what you can do is you can put it on a piece of card like this so that it shows a different colour. And that looks really pretty, but it's not the look I'm going for this evening. I actually need it cut out. So what you look for is there are 2 pieces at the right hand side and 2 pieces on the left hand side. Yeah, Diane, I don't think I've got the patience to pop all that coral up, honestly. So I've seen that other people have, and it's not me. Okay, so these little pieces here, all you do, you get your paper snips and you cut. Okay, so there's 2 at the right hand side here. Okay, and then there's 2 at the left hand side. And I watched a couple of videos from different demonstrators. Some people push this under and cut from the top. Some people push this up and cut from underneath. And really, I couldn't see that it made any difference. So I'm just cutting mine whichever way is easiest. And I find it easier to see the piece I'm cutting on the top rather than underneath and me trying to get my scissors under here. So I'm doing it this way, but you just do it whichever way works best for you. How was your weather, Diane? I saw all that snow that you had. So I'm hoping it's all gone. Yeah, Jane, first time I looked at it and it wasn't popped all the way out. It was on somebody else's video and I thought, oh, it hasn't cut all the way through. And had I not seen it, then I would have thought my die wasn't working. But that's how it's meant to be. The other one that does the same is this fish. And I have cut that through as well. So can you see how, again, you can pop this up, you can cut it out, you can cut these extra little pieces here to make it cut out if you want to. But this is really pretty, just a piece on its own on top of a card, because you get that colour from underneath. I really like that. I think that one's a really pretty one. So now we've got our 2 pieces, and these are going to form the basis of our card. Let me find where that catalogue went. Oh, here we go. Go back to page 12. I know it's on page 12. So these are the 2 pieces I've got cut out. So on this one you can see that they've used the fish and he's not cut out, he's just left like this, and they've got an orange paper underneath. It's maybe like a pumpkin pie cardstock. And this one they have cut round the whole of the die. And it does say partial pop-up pieces, but that didn't mean anything to me. Partial pop-up, it didn't ring a bell with me. It didn't make me think, oh, it's not going to cut the whole thing out. So, but once you know, then it's easy just to do. Oh no, no more snow. Isn't that crazy? You know, snow, and then by Thursday 17 degrees. I can't believe how you go from, like here it can be minus 25 and the next day it's plus 8. I don't know how you do that temperature swing. Okay, now I'm going to colour my seahorse and my coral, but first I want to get my base card all sorted. So I've got a piece of Bermuda Bay, my cardstock. It's just 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And I've got a piece that's just 1/4 inch smaller for the front and 1/4 inch smaller, and that's going to go on the inside. And I'm actually going to stamp a little bit on both of them. And then I have a piece of Coastal Cabana, and I haven't cut it 1/4 inch smaller. I think I just did 1/8 inch smaller with it. Yeah, so the Coastal Cabana is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I only want that little tiny white border. Yeah, that's Alberta for you too, Jane. That temperature change. So I want to stamp a little bit on the Coastal Cabana, and I want to stamp on one of the white pieces that will go inside. Okay. So I haven't got many ink colours out. I've got the Bermuda Bay, and I've got Night of Navy, and then I've got some colours for colouring in the coral and the little seahorse. And on the picture in the catalogue, they used the long seaweed, this long seaweed. I actually want to use the coral, and I'm still going to stamp it in exactly the same colour, so it's tone on tone. If you don't have the same colour as your card, like I always keep saying, use Versamark, because that gives you a tone on tone. You don't have to have every colour of ink. So if you wanted, you could use the weeds just like they did. I'm going to use the coral. So let's ink it up. Now my Bermuda Bay is quite juicy, so I only inked it up a couple of weeks ago. And I'm just going to stamp like this. I don't want the base of the coral. I don't want that little tree piece. It doesn't do anything for me, that little tree piece. So I'm just stamping it like that. And then I'm going to, because I've already stamped it once, it will be lighter. I'm just going to put a little bit over here. I don't want it to be the same height or anything. I just want a lighter colour. There we go. Okay. Now that's slightly darker there, just because that was stamped off over here. And that little piece didn't stamp onto the paper or anything as dark. So that's fine. I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, I do want to stamp the same thing on the inside. So I'm just going to get my inside piece. Going to ink it up again. And I'm going to do it in the same colour. Still in that Bermuda Bay. And it's going on the inside. You could do your envelope at the same time. Hi Janet, nice to see you. How are you doing? It was so lovely to craft with you all on Saturday. I had such fun. It was just nice to chat and, you know, just to see what everybody else was doing. And you'd be very proud of me, Janet, because I hope Anne-Marie's not watching. I don't think she will be. But let me just show you what I made. It's not finished yet, but after you showed us how to make that card in a box, see, I started my wedding card. So, as I say, it's not quite finished. I've got a little front piece, little embossed piece, like a wedding card. I haven't done the inside two pieces, but I've done the other two pieces. And it will just stand up, just like that. So, Anne-Marie, if you're watching, just close your eyes. Okay, so I am getting on with my wedding card, so thank you. Oh, thanks, Jane. I wouldn't have known how to make it if Janet hadn't shown us. So I did have a lovely time just stamping and crafting with everybody. Okay, now this is our front. I don't need it for a moment, but I do need to colour my little seahorse and my coral. And I'm going to do my coral first. Just easy peasy. Oh, thanks Diane and Judy. Yeah, it's not a card I've made before. And when I crafted with Janet, we had like just a free Zoom meeting on Saturday, and a few of us got together just with whatever projects we were making. And Janet had made a congratulations baby card with a card in the box, but hers was much more elaborate than mine, and she had many more pieces to it. And I thought I'd give it a go. So I had a little look online, and I found Sam Colcott's Mixed Up Crafts. She'd made one, so I just copied the idea from there and added the little bits. Now my daughter's getting married at Kicking Horse, and that's where Boo Bear is, and so that's why I've got the mountain paper. That was from not this Christmas but the Christmas before. Do you remember we had that like mountain adventure paper? That's where I'd got that paper, and that's why it's got a little bear on the front. So Okay, so I'm just sponging with what colour? Mango Melody. I just want a little bit of dark at the bottom of this coral. And you could do the rest just lightly, or you could use Daffodil Delight if you want a light, much lighter colour. I'm just going to go over it lightly. I don't want it all to be sort of really dark, but I would like the bottom a little bit darker than that. Now, we enjoyed ourselves so much on Saturday that I'm going to try and make it a once a month thing. You just bring whatever you're crafting and join the YouTube video, no, not YouTube, Zoom. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. I was making a birthday card for my husband. Other people were finishing cards that they'd started, or making a new card. It didn't matter. Nobody was doing, you know, the same as anybody else, but it was just such a fun time. So I'll let you know on the Facebook page when the next one is. It will be next month. Okay, so that is my coral. Now I want to do my little seahorse, and I'm going to do in purples and pinks. So I've got rich raspberry out and polished pink. I used polished pink because that's the colour they did in the catalogue. That's what this is. They only used polished pink, and can you see how they've got darker and then lighter at this side, and his tail is lighter? I wanted it even darker, so that's why I went with rich raspberry. And let me find my blend brush for the pinks. I don't have one brush for every colour. I just have one brush for pinks, one for yellows, one for blues, that kind of a thing. So you don't have to have one for every single colour. And if you have sponges, that would work too. I'm just going to go like the left hand side, sort of the back of him. I will keep turning him round. So I just want the edges of him to be dark. Oh, that's a little bit too dark. Never mind, I'll just brush it out a little bit. Remember to go onto my paper first. And I want his tail to be darker. I know they made it so it was lighter in the catalogue. I want it to be a little bit darker than that. And I like the look of the edges getting more dark. So just a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay. I'll just give him a little bit on his nose. Yeah, I don't think you need one for every colour, do you, Jane? So anyway, they wouldn't fit in my box. I've got a little storage box on here. I couldn't fit any more in. Okay, now I'm just going to rub off some of the purpley pink because I don't want that to transfer onto the polished pink. And once it rubs and you've got no more coming off, you know it's clean. If you do want to clean them totally, you can do them just in hot water. I use like a little bit of hair shampoo or even conditioner and just clean it over, and that's how I clean mine, and then just under running water. Okay, so the polished pink is lighter, but it's not too light. Okay. I love these patterns that appear through this. Now I do want to put a little bit of yellow just on his tummy as well. So I'm going to get my yellow back out. I'm going to use the Mango Melody. I've probably got enough on my brush, and it makes it just like a little orangey tinge. You see how it just brightens up. And I'm going just a little bit on his tail, just on the edge, and just around his tummy there and under his chin. And I just love how that comes out. If you think, oh, it's not as dark there as I want, you just get your brush, a bit more colour, and go over it again. I'm going to put a little bit on there. Yeah, it does make a nice stencil. It really does. It's so pretty. One thing I've noticed from doing this and having the ink here, you do get a little bit of ink transfer from here. So if you want a bit more pink, you can just rub it from your paper and go over. this morning when I was playing with it, I was using some blues and greens, and I got a really nice, like a turquoisey colour almost. And I didn't have the turquoise ink out or anything, and I'm thinking, where did I get that from? And then I realised it just picks up a little bit of that ink from underneath. It does make some stunning colours. Okay, that's it. I wanted that bit just a bit darker. Can you see how the very edge is there? A little bit darker now. Okay, and that's all the colouring. I'm just going to clean that brush off a bit, because otherwise I'll put it back in my little storage pot and then I'll realise that there's ink on when I've got maybe a lighter pink or something. Let's put those over there. Right, now so I've got my seahorse, I've got my coral. Next thing I need to do is a sentiment, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Night of Navy. I've got a little scrap piece here, and I'm using the one from the stamp set, this one, Just Thought You Should Know How Wonderful You Are. So I'm going to stamp that one. Let's find a little block for it. Okay. It's quite a nice font. So I'm just going to stamp it in here, because I'm going to cut it out with a punch. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Very nice. And I need the fish. I'm going to pop the fish inside. So I'm going to pop that little set of 3 fish. There they are. I'm going to pop those as though they're swimming through that coral. Okay. So let's take this off. This is only a small stamp, so I do it this way. And if you saw right at the beginning, I was putting the big stamps on, and I do that slightly differently. I tend to put the backing onto a block first, and then sort of offer it up to the stamp. And I find I get a better, just a better adhesion, and I make sure that it fits on better. Because once you've put this onto the rubber, you can't move it. So let me find the little piece that I did for inside. And you could do these fish in any colour you wanted. But I really want them to swim that way. Can they swim that way, or is that upside down? Not sure. I think it's upside down, so I'm just going to pop them through there. Let's do a few more. There we go. Just to give something for the inside. And I would probably do exactly the same on the envelope, just with the coral and a couple of fish. Let's just clean that stamp. Oh, squeaky squeaky. And I'm going to clean my sentiment as well. There we go. I might need it again for the second card that I'm going to show you, but I don't need them at the moment. So let's pop them back in. Right. Okay, so I've got blue ink on my finger now. I'm going to just get my little chamois back and rub my finger. It cleans stamps, so it cleans fingers too. There we go. So the next thing I need is that card base that we'd started. And let's start to pop it together. So this one is going to go on the inside. And I'm using a fast fuse. I found one in the cupboard. And I need an ink, no, not an ink refill. I need a stamping refill for the seal, and I haven't got very much of it left, but it's not in stock at the moment. So I thought I had another stamping seal refill, but I found this in the bottom of the box, so I'm just using this today. Right, now I'm going to add this one to the front, and then our layer will go on the top with that very, very small border. Does anybody else have this stamp set? Have you made anything with it? I know Diane said she has it, but hasn't inked it up yet. Janet, have you never seen me put stickers on the stamps before? I'll show again at the end as well. I just think it's so much easier to do it, especially on a big stamp. So, okay, then this is going to go over there, and it just gives you that little white border. It just needed something. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could add some of those little bubbles on here. You could add some of the seaweed as well. This is sand. You could put a little piece at the bottom with some sand on. But I'm just having mine like this. Now that that's dry, I'm going to use my little postage stamp punch. It will just fit. Oh, I'll have to just trim a bit off the edge. It's just a bit long. Yeah, I got fed up of trying to trim stamps, so I started doing them differently. So I'll show you again. Okay, so you see, that's just perfect size for that. Is it straight though, Diane? Yeah, that's straight enough. Okay, so this is going to be our sentiment, and I'm going to wrap the coral just around that little tail of the seahorse. So that's how it is in the book, and I thought it looked quite cute. So let's see if we can get it to go at the back as well. So try and tie a little knot. Oh, I don't like it like that. You'll have to lay down for it to be like that. Let me put it on straight to start with. See how you can't tell that I had that light and a dark bit now? That's better, look, if you catch it like that. Okay, and then our sentiment will just go over here. Okay. Don't put this too far over to the right, else you might not get your sentiment on. So I'm going to pop mine there, and I'm going to stick my sentiment on first, so I know I've got enough space for it. And I'm just going to pop it up on dimensions. And then I'm going to put dimensionals behind the seahorse as well. So I'm really glad you asked me to use this set, because I hadn't used it, and actually it's a really, really pretty set. I'm not sticking that quite down yet, just till I know, yeah, that's okay, now I'll squash it on. And I'm going to use some of my mini dimensionals, so let me see where I hid them. They're somewhere on my table. Somewhere, oh here they are, just out of the reach of my hand. I don't need that piece, but I'm going to use a couple of small pieces. You could always cut down one of the bigger dimensionals as well. I'm not going to stick it on yet though, because I want to have that little seahorse's tail wrapped around as well. And some of the places a big dimensional would fit. I'm just putting a couple of these small ones on. And I'm not putting them on every branch, because I want some of it to have that texture where it's not stuck down flat. Okay, so let's see how this goes again. I should have taken note of how I did it last time. And let's pop that behind, as I think I had that little tail behind, that curl. Nope, not there. Okay. Oh, I couldn't get it behind because I had a little dimensional there. There we go. Lift him up a bit. There we are. And then I'll put just a couple on here. This is not very wide for a dimensional, so you might either want to use like half of a big dimensional, or a little piece from the edge like this, or even you could even cut the little ones up but then they get a bit too small. Oh, nice to see you though, Judy. It's always always on replay as well. So thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night. Okay, so let's take the backings off. Now I'm sat here in my shoes for the wedding because when I tried them on at the weekend, well, when I tried them on they fitted beautifully. What I didn't try was having them on for half an hour and walking in them, because once I've had them on for a while they hurt my heel. So I've been trying to wear them sort of 10-15 minutes a day just to get used to them. So I'm sat here in my high heeled shoes. It could be worse, I could have my pyjamas on as well. Oh dear, the trials and tribulations of getting old, and your feet don't want to wear heels. I never wear heels anymore, and I think I've forgotten how to. I always used to wear heels, and when I was teaching in the UK, you know, I had high shoes on all the time. But you forget. Okay, so there we are. That's the case of the one that's in the catalogue. So you can see I made it a little bit different. Oh, I haven't put any gems on. Let me put some gems on. I just made it a little bit different. I had a different stamp for the background, and I put a little extra layer in, and they did tone on tone. I like the Coastal Cabana with the Bermuda Bay, but I'll just put a couple of little gems on, and then I'll show you the other thing that I thought of. You could use polished dots, they would look really nice on it, or you could use the little pinky iridescent sequins that come with the paper ephemera pack. Let's have a look at these little dots. I like the size of these polished dots, and because they're clear, you know, it just looks like bubbles coming up. Okay, so I like those, nice. Okay, so when I was cutting all this out and colouring it and practicing, I thought, you know, we've got some really nice paper that's already would be perfect for this. And I got out this glimmer paper. What is it called? Rainbow glimmer paper. And this is, oh, let's see where the opening is. This is already like a variegated colour. You know, it's not ombre because it's got all those rainbow colours in. And I thought that would just look perfect. So I had a little play with that. And I cut out some coral. I cut some with the yellow and the orange, some with the pink and the little bit darker pink. And then I cut two little seahorses as well. Now what I did notice is this is a lot thicker than our cardstock, and especially the basic white that I was using here. So let me just see where they had put a little Vaseline. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you. I'll give that a go for my heels. It's just a tiny bit where it pinches right at the top of the heel on the shoe. So I'll give that a go. Thanks, Janet. So this is thicker, and I noticed I had to run it through a couple more times, and even with my dye brush I couldn't get all the pieces. I ended up using my pokey tool. I didn't want to peel the backing off like I sometimes do with the speciality papers because I didn't want it to be too thin. So here they are. This was one piece that I'd been making tags with, look, because you can see the hole from the tag, and they just fitted on there perfectly. So that's what I'm using this time. I'm going to cut it out just the same. Saves me a lot of work colouring, and not that I don't like the work of colouring, but it just makes it so much quicker. I've cut this little piece here. Okay. So if you don't want to do a lot of stamping one day, this is a great way to do it. Okay, so there's our little, oh, it's still got one in his tail as well. Let me just get those out. See? There we go. Oh, a little piece there, look. So there's that one. And then I got my base ready. So I've got the Bermuda Bay again, and I've got a white piece for inside that I'm going to stamp up. But I found something else that was going to go on the front. I had my white piece ready and my Coastal Cabana, like this. I was going to do it this way and stamp on here. But then I saw something else that I liked. So I'm going to stamp a piece for the inside. I'm going to do the coral, and I'm going to do it in the Night of Navy. Oh, that would be really good, Diane. I was doing my Stamp with Colour class today that Laurie comes to, and I must admit that I've used some of the Glimmer paper for one of their cards and die cuts, and because it's already got all the colours in that you need, you know, people don't have to stamp, they don't have to do anything, so it doesn't matter if they haven't got the right colour ink, because the Glimmer paper will do all the work for you. Now let me just get my Night of Navy. I'm just going to do a little bit of coral for the inside. Oops. So I'm not doing that tree piece because I don't like it. I just like this bit. Okay, and I'm going to do some fish again. So let me clean this one, and then I just get my fish back out. I can't believe how light it is tonight. Just that 1 hour difference with the clocks makes it so much nicer in the craft room. Okay, let me find those little fishes. And then, Janet, I'll show you again how to do that that way that I do the larger stamps. I'm going to do these fish in pink. Okay, that's the little fish. Just clean this one off. Together, so this is going on our inside. Bye, Diane. Thanks so much for joining us. It's lovely to see you. And I wish I'd seen the post about the Ocean Waves set. I didn't know we were doing a swap on that, but I look forward to seeing everything you've made, and I am using that paper now. I'm using the Waves of the Ocean, because instead of doing any stamping for the front, I'm going to use one of these papers, and I want that one that had this one. That one that looks like it has sort of the sand and everything on as well. And I thought it would just be perfect for on here, look. And then with our seahorse. So let me just get my trimmer. And I don't even really need to put a backing on it. I think I can just put the paper straight on. I think I will. Let me just see. What size would I need that? I could do it 4 by 5 1/4, or make it slightly smaller if I do put a backing on. I'm going to cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to cut it this way. So let me just do 5 1/4. I would normally just cut it at 6, but and go to here. That gives me some of this nice pinky colour. And I'm not going to cut all the way across. I'm only going to go to 4. And that way I'm not wasting a lot of the paper. Put this in here, measure it up to 4, and then I'm going to go put my trimmer blade on there and just cut the one piece out. and that way if I need to cut this a different size, I haven't already cut all the paper up. Okay. So I've got just a little bit of that sort of sandy colour. And let me look. What is it like with a... Oops, let's get a layer. What is it like this? Do I need a border? Do I not? I like it both ways. What do you think, ladies? Do I need a border? Can I just leave it like that? I might just leave it like that. I like seeing this coastal cabana against the blue and the green. I'm just going to leave it like that. Oh, look at that on the back. Isn't that pretty? No border. Yeah, thanks, Jane. Oh, I don't need that. Let's move that out of the way. I do need to make another sentiment though, don't I? Okay. Now, I didn't know which of these I might like. Let me look. I like this yellowy orange. Oops. Just thread that in there. So it's like doing a Chinese puzzle, this. There we go. I think I like that yellowy. Let me just see what the other little seahorse looks like the other way around. I think I might like the brighter green at the top rather than at the bottom. Cut this little piece. Ooh, I like that way round. I like that bright there. I'm going to do the yellow. Second seahorse. Oh yeah, second one with the brighter bit at the top, Laurie. I think so. I'll just wait to see your comment on that, and I'll stamp my sentiment while I'm waiting. Just because you're a few seconds behind me. Let's do this sentiment in the Night of Navy. And where's the stamp? Did I put it away? Yes, I did. Put that on there. I still like that Night of Navy. Okay, Laurie. Second one it is. I should give that a minute to waft and dry. And then let's put this in here. Try and make it straight. This one I might put straight down. Look in the catalogue. Where did they have his tail? Oh, further round. They have it over here. Look, and it catches in so much easier there. I should have looked first, shouldn't I? Come on, hook round there. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, let's put some dimensionals on the back. Put some of these little ones on. I'm going to put one over the tail and onto that first piece of coral, just so it sticks it together. That way I know it's not going to fall off. Put those on there. Got a little piece here that I can cut in half. I can use this little piece up here as well. Ooh, it's got a little bit that sticks out. I don't want that sticky out piece. Okay, let's throw that piece away and find another little piece. I'm going to do one of these pieces off here. Ooh, that won't bend enough. Cut it in half and do it as 2 pieces maybe. Or perhaps we only need 1. Cut that down even more. I could use the foam strips. That would be a good way to do it too. But I've only just thought of that. Okay, take all these backings off. Only a few days now till Anne-Marie arrives, and then we'll start getting ready for the wedding. Once she's here, I believe it's happening, and that it hasn't been cancelled again. Or postponed, not cancelled. Postponed. Oops, let's pop that back on there. I've got stuck on my finger now. And then I'm going to put this one flat. Oh look, I can see just a little bit of that one. I'm going to move it slightly. I don't want to see any. That's better. I'm going to move him up a little bit as well. A bit higher up than we had the last one. There we go. And I'm going to put this one flat down. On the first one I had it popped up as well. I'm going to pop this just like this underneath the coral there as well. Okay, so if you don't want to do much stamping, this glimmer paper will do all the work for you and have a backing paper. Now let me just show you before we go, just let me show you how I put those stamps on again. So where did the paper go? Where did the paper go with the stamps? Here they are. So let's choose this fish. So instead of, see where the cut line is on here, instead of peeling that off, I peel the whole thing from the paper. Just take it off slowly, stick it on your stamp. Stick it on your block. Get your stamp ready. Take the backing off your stamp. Okay. And then where this has got that little cut line, you just take that off. But it leaves the sticky image on your stamp block. And then you can put your stamp down so that you've got the foam side up. Oh, we are getting excited now, Jane. Yeah, we are getting excited. And then I'm going to turn it around so it's looking the right way for me. Actually, I'm just going to clean that stamp because it's got a little bit of blue ink on. So, there we go. Okay, and then you just put it on top of your stamp. And it just makes it so that you can see the outline easier. I find that when you're doing it the other way, when you're trying to put it on like that, you can't always see where the edge of the foam is because the red rubber seems to be in my eye line and I can't see underneath of the foam. So, and then all you do is you peel it off like you would ordinarily. So I'll do it one more time. What shall we choose? Let's have the sand. And I find it lines up the sentiment pieces better. I think that makes it easier. So here's the one for the sand. I'm going to peel the whole thing off. Make sure you've got both layers so that you're not leaving the image on the paper. Put it on your stamp block, rub it on, look for where the cut line is and take those pieces off. It comes off really easily. Take the backing off here. Okay. And then have a look through your stamp block to see where the edges of the stamped image are on the cling here, and then you just line it up. You line it up with the edges of your stamp. and it's so much easier to get it on properly without a little bit overhanging, without you having to trim a stamp. And then just peel it off. If you can't do it with your thumb, you can do it with the other end of your pokey tool. So let me just turn that round. Do it with this spatula end, and then you can just push that underneath your stamp and it lifts it up for you. So if you don't have nails or you don't want to do it with your nails, just do it with this. So there we are. That's how I put the majority of my, it's not smarty pants, Janet. That's how I put the majority of my stamps on. Because when I first used to do it, I'd never had stamps like this until I got them from Stampin' Up. I'd never had them where you had to either trim a stamp or put an image on. Mine all came on wooden blocks, and there was a picture on the wooden block. But when I had to start doing this, I did it the way that I saw somebody else do it, where you just take, you know, the top layer off and then you put your stamp onto this piece. But I didn't always get it straight. And if it wasn't straight and you had to try and take your stamp off, it was impossible, because it was so sticky. It stuck onto, you know, the back of this onto the foam, and then it would just pull a piece out. So that's why I learned to do it differently and make it easier for myself. So let's find our cards. So this is the one I cased from the catalogue. This is the one I made just with the Glimmer paper and the Designer Series paper, and I haven't put any little bits of bling on again. Let's do that. So, okay. That one ran away. And there we are. If you wanted to have just a background, you could have a background just like this, stamped on the white card. That is what I was going to do originally. And then pop your seahorse on there, your Glimmer one, because he would show up really nicely on there too, look. And even with a piece of coral. So thank you, Jane, for making me get that stamp out. So otherwise, you know, it'd still be sat in its box, don't you? I still wouldn't have had a go with it. But thank you. And it made me get it out and have a look. And don't forget the other little die, if you put it on a piece of different colour card. Let's get a brighter piece of card just to show you. Look how nice that looks. I know this isn't a perfect fit for this card, but look how good it looks. And then you could stamp all your coral around it. And in the catalogue, they make a little piece of sand here. So all that is, and we've got another moment. Let me get the ink and just show you how to do that. So I've got Sahara sand out and I've got soft suede. And I just need a little piece of something like crumb cake. Let's see, I don't know if I have a little scrap here. No, I don't see crumb cake there. Nope, nope, nope. Let me get crumb cake out. Okay, so I've got some little scraps of crumb cake in here. All they've done is, let me move those and find that little backing piece that we had. I don't know if they've used soft suede or if they've used Sahara sand, so let's check. And we've just put that stamp on a block and put the cling on the back. And I would think by the look of it, let's just look, I think they've stamped once and then stamped again without re-inking. So all they've done is go like this. So you get the two colours. So you just need a piece like that, and I think that's probably better than the Sahara sand, but we'll try both. I think this might be too light. Oh no, that's quite nice, look. That's nice as well. Depends if you want a softer looking sand or a darker looking sand. And then all they've done is they've torn the edges. I'm going to go across the whole piece of paper. and then probably they've just rolled this bit down. That's what it looks like to me. And then on the card, let's get rid of that. This is a terrible example really, because I hadn't cut that one ready to do something like this. See, they've just used that as the sand at the bottom. They've stamped just the little sort of water weeds, and then a sentiment and the bubbles. So that's a really easy card. And I love how that just picks up that colour from behind. So pretty. So thank you very much, ladies, for joining me. I will see you all again next week. Next Tuesday. I don't think we've got anything wedding related on Tuesday. I'll let you know if I have to change the day, but I won't see you the week after because I will be in Kick and Horse then. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all again really soon, and thanks for sharing your evening with me. Bye everybody. Bye bye.